Hi and welcome to yoga. My name is Brooke. Today we're going to be doing a flowy yoga, lots of moving, lots of breath to movement. So if you're not already in your yoga clothes and you haven't grabbed your mat, go ahead and take a moment to do that. We will go ahead and start at the top of our mat. So go ahead and make your way there. Once you're at the top of your mat, you'll take a big inhale, sweep those arms overhead, and then exhale, flat back, long arm, swan dive down to the mat. Finding your forward fold. Inhale here, exhale, halfway lift. Go ahead and forward fold, plant your hands and hop or step back into your plank. Once you're there, we're going to lower all the way down. We're going to untuck our toes. We're going to find some length through our neck. Our hands are planted on the ground. We're just going to slightly press ourselves away from the mat. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Pull your abdominals in. Your gaze is forward. Inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Tuck those toes. Plant your hands. Press up through plank and back in downward dog. Once you're there, we can pedal out our feet, which means to bend one knee as you straighten the other. Just moving here. One more time each way. And then we'll sway our hips, so our hips will go to one way and then the other. And we'll do that one more time each way. And then we'll come back to center. Big inhale here. Bring that right arm up, leg up. Look at your hands, bring it all the way through. We find our low lunge. Drop that back knee. Untuck your toes, sweep those arms up. Big inhale here. Exhale, hands through heart center. Pause here for a moment. And then we're going to lower ourselves down. Hands come to the inside of our foot. We press our left hand down and our right arm comes up, finding a twist here. And then we drop that hand to the outside of our right foot. We start to straighten through that right leg and we fold ourselves forward. And then we plant that foot, walk our hands forward, plant our hands, tuck our toes. Step our leg back and lower ourselves all the way down. Untuck our toes and press ourselves up into that mini cobra again. Squeeze your shoulder blades, pull your abdominals and gazes forward. Then we lower down, tuck our toes, press up through plank and back through downward dog. Inhale, lift that left leg high. Exhale, bring it all the way through. Drop that back knee, untuck your toes, big inhale. Sweep those arms up. And then bring your hands through heart center. Pausing for a moment here. And then we'll fold ourselves forward, plant our hands here. And then we're going to go ahead and plant our left hand and lift our right arm up. And then bring that right hand down. Left hand comes to the outside of our left foot. We shift our hips back and turn our toes up to the ceiling. Fold ourselves forward. And breathe. Then we start to bend into our knee, plant our foot. Both hands go on either side of our foot, tuck those toes and step back. Finding our plank here, we lower down all the way. Untuck those toes and we press our whole chest away from the mat. Gazes forward, pull your abdominals in. And then lower ourselves, tuck our toes and press ourselves up. And shift our hips back, coming into downward dog. We're going to lift that right leg high. Pause here for a moment in our three-legged dog. We'll look at our hands, bend that right knee, bring it all the way through, coming to our high lunge. We lengthen through that back leg, bend through our front knee, sweep those arms overhead. Try not to fall over. Finding another twist. Here in our high lunge, our hands come together. We hinge forward. That left elbow reaches for our right knee. We come back to center. We come up nice and tall. And we're going to do a switch. So we're going to step that left leg forward, standing up nice and tall. Big inhale here. Exhale, step that right leg back. Keeping those hands at heart center, finding length through that right leg. Coming up nice and tall. And then we hinge forward. That right elbow finds that left knee as we twist. And then we come back to center. We come up nice and tall. Again, we're going to step that back leg forward. Coming up nice and tall. We inhale, sweep our arms up. Left hand grabs the right wrist. And we find a nice side bend here. We come back through center and we switch sides. Come back through center and then bring those hands to heart center. We're going to bring our hands to our shoulders. Open up our elbows. Our elbows should be in line with our shoulders. We're going to tap our shoulders together and then open up our shoulders. Tap our elbows and then open up one more time. And then having our elbows coming out of our shoulders in line with them, we're going to roll them back for 3, for 2, and for 1, and then we'll roll forward for 3, for 2, and for 1, and we can let that all go. We'll come back to the top of our mat if we're not already there. Big inhale, sweep those arms overhead. Exhale, fold yourself forward. Find your forward fold here. 2 breaths. And then go ahead and lift. Find your halfway lift. Plant your hands and hop or step back in that plank. This time we're going to move through our chaturanga. So we shift our weight forward, lower halfway, untuck our toes, press up into our upward dog, and shift back into our downward dog. We'll pause here in our downward dog. We'll lift that right leg high. We'll look at our hands. We'll bring it all the way through. Come back to that low lunge. We're going to drop the back knee. We're going to untuck our toes and then shift that left knee all the way back. Then we're going to start to drive our right knee forward. We can stay on our tips of our fingers here with a long flat back, or we can start to bring our torso up. Plant our hands on our thighs and breathe. Pull those abdominals in. 3 more breaths here. And then we plant our hands on either side of our foot. We tuck our back toes. Our right leg meets our left, and we press up and back into our downward dog. And then we lift that left leg high, finding our 3-leg dog here. And we look at our hands. We bring it all the way through to our low lunge. Drop that right leg, untuck your toes. Start to shift that right knee behind your hip. Start to drive your left knee in front of your toes. And we can bring our hands to our thigh if we'd like to stand up or come up nice and tall with our torso. Pull your abdominals in. And then we plant our hands. We tuck those toes and we step back into our plank. Let's hold our plank here for 3 breaths. Strong arms. Firm up your quads. Straight line from your head to your toes. And then we'll press up and back into that downward dog. We lift that right leg high. We look at our hands. We bring it all the way through, coming to our warrior 2. That means we pivot on our back foot. See my front right heel's in line with my back left arch. I bend into that knee and I cartwheel my arms up, coming into my warrior 2. So here I am, long arms, actively reaching them, gaze over that right middle finger. Abdominals is pulled in. My shoulders are over my hips. And I breathe. Left hand to left thigh, right arm reaches up and over. Come back to warrior 2. Bend that knee a little bit deeper. Right forearm to right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. Come back to center. Come back to that warrior 2. And then we pivot on that back foot. We bend both of our knees and we plant our hands, step back into that plank and press back into that downward dog. Once you're here in that downward dog, lift your left leg high. Hold it here. Bend your knee, look at your hand, bring it all the way through, coming to warrior 2 on the other side. Heel to arch alignment. Cartwheel those arms up, bend into that front knee. Long arms, gaze over that left middle finger. Pull your abdominals in. Left forearm to left thigh, right arm reaches up and over. Press that right arm up, right arm comes right side, left arm reaches behind us. Come back to warrior two. Pivot on that back foot, cartwheel your hands down, plant your hands, and we're going to step up. Step forward, step to the top of the mat into our forward fold drop. Your crown of your head, so it's closer to your floor, and breathe. We find our halfway lift here. We're finding length through that spine. Big inhale. And then exhale. Forward fold. Big inhale here. Exhale, plant your hands and hop or step back into that plank. Once we're in our plank, we'll lower halfway. Untuck those toes. Press yourself up into your upward dog and back into your downward dog. We'll lift that right leg high. Look at your hands. Bring it all the way through. We come back to that high lunge. Sweep those arms up. Exhale those hands through heart center. We find that twist. We hinge forward. Left elbow to right knee. And we twist. Come back to center. Plant those hands. Step back into that plank. And press back into your downward dog. Lift that left leg high. Look at your hands. Bring it all the way through. Come to low, high lunge on the other side. We sweep those arms up. Bring those hands through heart center. Hinge forward. Right elbow to left knee. Finding a twist here. Then we come back to center. We fold ourselves forward. Left meets right. But this time we drop our knees wide. We find our child's pose. Big toes touch. Sit your hips back. Walk your arms forward and drop your forehead to the mat. We're going to take that right hand over to the right side. Left hand comes on top of the right. Drop your head between your arms, finding the left side body stretch here. Walk through center, come to the other side, plant that left hand, put that right hand on top, drop your head through your arms. Come back through center, drop your forehead to the mat, take 3 more breaths here. Walk your hands by your head, press yourself up. We're going to sit up just a little bit, enough to cross our ankles over one another, sit our hips behind, and then bring your legs forward. Once you're there, we're going to bend your knees and plant our feet. Our arms come long in front of us, and we lower ourselves down to the mat. Once we're there, we're going to come to our reclined butterfly, so the soles of our feet come together. Our back is flat on the mat, and our knees open up wide. We pull our abdominals in, and our hands can come to our belly. Just bring awareness to your breath. And we can bring our knees back in through center. We can take our right ankle over our left knee. We can lift our head and chest off the mat, head and shoulders off the mat, interlace our fingers around our thigh, and pull those knees into our chest. We can drop that head back down if we'd like to. We can drop that left leg back down, uncross that right leg. Now that left leg crosses over the right. We lift our head and shoulders off the ground, interlace our hands behind our thigh, and then bring our knees into our chest and lay our head down and breathe. And we can drop that right leg down, uncross our left leg. We're going to open up our feet as wide as our mat, and then we're going to start to windshield wiper them. So we'll drop them to one side, and then we'll move them through center to the other side. Moving 3 more times on your own. One more time each way. Back through center and then drop them off to the left side and hold them there. And bring those knees through center and then drop them over to the other side. And back through center. Walk those feet back in towards each other. Bring your arms long by your side. Bring one leg up and then the other. And you can stay right here and legs up the wall. Or if you'd like to come to candlestick, you can start to kick those legs up. And then bring your hands underneath your hips to support you. Letting your legs come over your hips all the more. And breathe. And we can slowly lower ourselves back onto the mat. We can bring our legs out long, one and then the other, letting our toes splay open. Our arms can be long by our side. Coming to Shavasana. Bringing awareness to your breath and letting your body melt into the mat with each exhale. You can start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, letting your breath become deeper. And bend your left leg and then your right leg and roll onto your side, taking 2 breaths here. You can use your arm to support your head. And then press yourself up into a comfortable seated position, sitting up nice and tall. Bringing your hands to heart center. Taking a moment to see how you feel, to thank yourself for being here. I thank you for being here, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.